name's Kelsey. I'm Kelsey Oki here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today we are working one of my most favorite asanas, postures, forearm stand, aka Pincha Mayaurasana, aka Pincha, aka elbow stand, whatever you want to call it. We are going to be balancing on the forearms and we're going to get our hips up over our shoulders. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. I got a couple of drills, a couple of exercises that I think can make a huge difference in your Pincha Mayaurasana, your forearm stand. So let's do those first. I think it's super important that we build strength and stability through the shoulders and through the core. So that's what we're gonna be working on. So go ahead and come onto your mat or whatever space you have prepared. And right away, we're gonna start off with measuring the distance of our arms. So when you bring your forearms down, you wanna be able to grab opposite elbow with the opposite hand, and then bring your forearms back down. Now there's two different kind of way of thinking here. Some people really like palms down, and I think that is more technically right as far as Ashtanga goes, but a lot of people really like to interlace the hands like this. And so if you're not quite as stable through the shoulders, that's a great option, but try both, see what works for you. I personally like forearms or palms down because then I can grip with my fingers. All right, so we get the palms down, hands flat, step the feet back, come into this forearm plank position. Let's just hold it here. And something that's really important to think about, and I say this all the time in my videos, is to protract through the shoulder blades. So you see how I'm rounding through the upper back? Okay, so this is retraction, this dumping position, and then there's protraction, this rounding. And it doesn't come from the core, it comes from the shoulder blades, it comes from the lats and the rhomboids. So really pushing the floor away, rounding that upper back. Now it is helpful to keep the core engaged, belly button towards spine, and all the muscles through the legs really hugging towards the bones so that the lower half of the body does some of the work here too. All right, let's hold it here for 10 more seconds. Always keeping that breath smooth and steady so that you don't get kind of stuck in this discomfort, but we breathe through it and we let it go. All right, go ahead and lower the knees down. Rest in a hero's pose, or whatever restful position that you like. Soften the shoulders. I'm a big fan of work when it's time to work, but rest when it's time to rest. So in between drills, in between kicking up, drop your shoulders, soften your jaw, really relax that upper body so that when it's time to get back to work again, they're ready to go again. All right, so we're gonna get back onto our forearms, but this time we're gonna get the hips up high like we're in a down dog position, but we're on our forearms. So this is Dolphin Position. If you need to measure your arms again, feel free. Tuck the toes, send the hips up nice and high. See, you can see how this is like down dog, but we're on the forearms, so it is dolphin. All right, now what we're gonna do from here is do some dolphin push-ups. And in dolphin push-ups, we're just going to shift forward, drop the chin or the nose by the thumbs, push back up. Let's pause for just a moment at the bottom so that we really feel that strength. Let's do 9 more. Shift forward, hold, press back up. Now, if this is a real struggle for you, by the way, keep going. We want to get our 10 in. Now, if this is a struggle, open your feet a little wider. If it's not hard at all, maybe bring your feet all the way together. So dolphin push-ups are definitely one of those drills that you'll see me do a lot. Do your dolphin push-ups forever. So it's not one of those positions, those drills that we're gonna do just to build strength, but we do them to keep strength too. So get used to these. They're gonna be a part of your life if you like working in forearm stand. Last one. All right, lower the knees. Maybe a little shake up to the shoulders, soften the wrists. And let's do one more little drill just to help get the core engaged as well as the shoulders before we start kicking up. All right, so again, we're gonna be back on those forearms, and it makes sense because that's the position that we're gonna be in for forearm stand, so you gotta get used to it. We're gonna be hanging out there a lot. This time, we're just gonna be dropping the hip from side to side once we get in that forearm plank. Now, it's up to you how many of these you do. I started off with about 25. I've worked my way up to 100 or more, but you need to start slow because it's hard on the balls of the toes, it's hard on the core, it's even a little hard on the shoulders, so we have to slowly develop that strength. Don't try just jumping into too much, you'll get discouraged. So let's just do 20 maybe for now, but you work slowly on building that number. So just dropping the hips down, keep pushing through the shoulders, and then the left side. And we're just gonna move like this from side to side, kind of rolling right over the balls of the feet. Make sure that you're pulling the belly button in, navel towards spine, still pushing through the shoulders, getting that rounding through the upper back. The second that you lose your form, it's going to get a lot harder. So do your best to stay tight, to stay nice and strong in this position. Keeping the neck neutral, so you don't want to jack your head up or tuck it down. Just kind of keeping the spine nice and long. Let's do 2 more from side to side. Last one. Very good. All right, so go ahead and lower the knees. Again, hero's pose. Just kind of soften, relax, because we got more work to do to be able to get up into that forearm stand. All right, so here's the real business. This is how we're going to get started getting our Pincha Mayaurasana. So again, up to you if you want to interlace the hands. A lot of people really, really love that. I like palms down, but here we go. Palms down, arms down, tuck the toes, hips come up nice and high. And just for the beginning of this, let's bring the feet together. And then really pushing out of the shoulders, let's lift the right leg. So right leg lifts. Pointing the toe, maybe really getting some extension, not only opening up the back of that left leg, but beginning to feel what it's like to get the hips high in the air, almost over the shoulders. As you see, I'm kind of shifting forward, not only to stretch out the left leg, but to really get that height. Let's hold it for just a few more seconds, and then we're gonna switch sides. All right, right leg down, right where the left is, in the center, and left leg reaches. I'm looking right down between my forearms, not all the way up towards my thumbs, not back behind me, that's pretty advanced, but kind of right between the forearms. Really reaching into those left toes, pressing out of the right foot. Get tall through the legs. Maybe a couple little shift forwards if you did that last time. Last few seconds, really staying strong through this hold. And then lower the legs down. And rest in heroes. If heroes isn't restful, you can always go all the way down into your child's pose and really, really soften through those shoulders. All right, but if you're ready to do more, let's keep going. We've got some work to do. So we're back on the forearms, and now we're gonna practice just little kicks up. And of course, we're gonna do both legs. So my arms are down, shoulders width, feet are together. I'm going to lift the left up really high, right leg down, and I'm just gonna start doing little tiny kicks off of this right leg. And as I lift off that right leg, I'm gonna bend the knee, pull into the left toes. I like doing this type of kick because as you pull the knee in towards the belly, you start to engage the core automatically. Keep pushing out of the shoulders. So important that you keep that protraction, that shoulder strength. Let's do a few more. And then we gotta switch sides. All right, now let's keep the left toes down, right leg reaching high. I know that this may be the awkward leg for some, or maybe the other one was, but we always want that balance. So let's go ahead and do a few kicks. Reach into the right toes, little tiny kicks off of the left. So if you've worked with me before, you know I'm always saying when we kick off, whether it's handstand or pincha, we're coming off the balls of the toes. So you don't want to do it on a whole foot like this. That's very jarring. You just want it to be just the balls of the toes that you kick off of and that you land on. Pull that knee in towards the belly as you do, so you feel that core strength. All right, go ahead and lower the feet and the knees. Rest for just a moment. Hopefully already you're starting to feel a little bit braver getting the hips over the shoulders. I know that that can be spooky for a lot of people. You worry, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kick all the way up and over my head and I'm going to fall. Well, first of all, you're not that far off of the ground, so, clear a space. I have plants in my way, but you can always make lots of room. Put a pillow down behind your head if you're worried. Set yourself up for success so that fear doesn't have to be the thing that's holding you back. Because so many times with inversions, it's in our head. We're afraid of falling. We're afraid we can't do it. We're afraid of I'll hurt my shoulders, I'll hurt my back. And sometimes these fears are rational and sometimes they really aren't. So what can you do to set yourself up for success? Maybe put a pillow behind you, put a cushion on the other side of you, and then also know that it's okay to fall out of it. Not only most likely are you going to fall back the same way that you came up, but you can fall over to the side too. So let me show you really quick how you can fall over to the side. So I'm gonna kick up. Oh, I feel out of control. Cartwheel to the side. Now I always kind of cartwheel to the left. Teach your body to cartwheel out of your inversion, typically one way. That way it becomes very instinctual for you. So hips get high, a little kick up. Oh, I'm nervous. Off to the side. Okay, so that's definitely something in itself to practice, is knowing how to fall. Maybe we'll do a whole separate video on that alone. All right, so let's get back into our forearm stand, our pincha. And now what I want you to think about doing is making L legs. So instead of bringing the knee in towards the belly, we're gonna open the legs up as if they're in an L shape. I know these kicks can feel a little frustrating, like where are they going, but we're building strength. That's what we're doing. So off the balls of the right toes, find those L legs. As soon as you start to kick up, really engage the legs, point the toes, get as tall as you can, and tell yourself, if you find that hold, you're not going to be afraid. You're going to lock it in, set that drishti, that gaze between the forearms, hold, breathe, I'm not afraid, and lowering the right leg back down. There you go. Hopefully you found a little bit of air time, and if you did, celebrate that. That's amazing. It's super exciting, but we still got to do the other side. All right, so now we're going to kick off of the left toes. Right leg reaches high. Get those hips over the shoulders. We have to kick up high enough that the shoulders, or then the hips, stack over the shoulders. Reaching into both toes so that the legs get long, long, long. Lots of kicks, getting that strength, finding your courage. And then if you happen to find that balance, now breathe. Lock your vision, lock your gaze in. Hang out there. Don't let fear take over. Keep pushing out of the shoulders. And slowly coming back down as you're ready. I don't want you into the beginning to even worry about getting straight legs. So those legs that go perfectly up the center, that may be one of the hardest shapes to come up with for handstand, for forearm stand. Getting those legs straight is super exciting, and it's a great goal to work on, but it's not something that you want to do in the very, very beginning because it can feel a little bit spooky. So first, feel really secure with pulling one knee into the belly and then getting those L legs. And maybe after that, a tuck position. So a lot of people think tuck looks like this. See how much I'm bending through my back? No, 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 no. Pull the knees into the belly, straighten the spine. This is more of a tuck position. And tuck positions are amazing for building strength. So work there. Find little kicks off of both feet as you pull the knees and the thighs towards your belly. Think compression. Really use your core to hold your thighs towards your belly. So both feet at the same time. Push, push, push out of the shoulders. If you don't get that push, you're not gonna hold. Lower both toes. Let's do that a few times. Let's get that tuck position. Jump, pull, compress, and lower the toes. Let's do that once more. Little shift forward. Push the floor away, and lower the toes back down. Honestly, tuck position is pretty challenging, but it's amazing for building strength in your inversions. My absolute favorite position to work on when you're trying to get your inversion in the very, very beginning is stag legs. So if you've just started to find your pincha and you're feeling strong and stable there, play with that because you get this teeter-totter effect, which is so nice when you're still playing with your balance and you're trying to figure out what's going on. When you're upside down in handstand or forearm stand, all of a sudden right versus left, up versus down, nothing makes sense anymore. So to have those stag legs to kind of play with, it really helps your body build awareness. So I'll show you what I mean by stag legs. And if you're feeling imbalanced, always know hips have to be over the shoulders. So think, where are my shoulders? Where are my hips? Are they in line? So it's a nice place to kind of play with if you feel like you aren't very balanced yet. I love that place. The most important things to keep in mind when you are working in your forearm stand is you have to push out of the shoulders. If you start to get that retraction, if you start to dump between the shoulder blades, you're not gonna hold it. It's just not gonna happen. So think protraction. Think about that rounding through the upper back. The second you let it dump, you are gonna go down. If your hips aren't over your shoulders, it's really that you're asking the core to do all the work of holding that lower body. So stack your bones. It's a nice time to use your camera, use your phone, record your practice, and you might go, oh, geez, I really thought that my hips were right over the shoulders. Turns out I was a whole foot away. I've got a little bit more work to do. Now I'm going to show you a little bit how you can use the wall in your advantage to work with this balance. All right, so you've got a nice big wall, open space, no mirrors, no art hanging on there that you have to worry about, you know, not kicking over. So give yourself this room. And I've got two really great ways to use the wall to help you find balance. Now, know this, I never want to stay on the wall. The wall is just a prop that we use for a very short time while we're getting that awareness and we're building that strength. Once you've built the strength, once you've built the awareness, get off the wall or you're gonna get stuck on the wall forever. All right, so the first way I like to do it is figure out what a leg's length is. Okay, that's about a leg's length. I'm gonna turn around, put my forearms there, and I'm gonna walk my feet up the wall. So I'm facing away, kind of walk my feet up the wall, and you can start with both legs, kind of getting a nice pike shape, really finding strength here, building your endurance. And then you can also play with lifting one leg up, holding it here, really feeling that hips over shoulders, the strength, that protraction that we have to get. And of course, you always want to switch sides, equal amount of time on each side. And then you can kind of play with just kicking off the wall a little bit. Get those stag legs again. And because the wall's right there, you don't have to feel so afraid. Nice and easy coming back down. And then a way that you can use it while facing towards the wall. Now this way you're gonna wanna be a little bit closer, but you don't wanna be right at the wall, that's too close. Just a little bit away. I'm gonna get my forearms down, gently kick up, so making sure you're on the balls of the toes, not the flat foot. Just a little tiny kick up. Oh, there's the wall. And I'm just going to, so you don't wanna rest on it, you'll get that banana back. What you wanna do is just use the tips of the toes to play with the balance. And you never wanna stay on it, you're just touching in when you absolutely have to. And of course, switching that leg, trying both sides. Until you feel secure, and maybe you don't need the wall as much. So just know that Pincha Mayaurasana, forearm stand, it's a really, really strong posture. You need to work those forearm planks, you need to work those hip dips and forearm stand, your dolphin push-ups. Go use all those hip videos that I've uploaded because that's that strength that we really need in order to be able to balance on the shoulders, on the forearms. I know that you can do it. You just gotta be very, very consistent. Decide that this is something that you want and keep pushing towards it until you meet your goal. If you have any specific questions, please leave them for me down in the comment section. I will try to get back with you right away, but just know that consistency is the key and you have to get mind over matter. Don't let fear rule you in this. You can do it. Again, my name is Kelsey. If we haven't worked out together, it was so good meeting you today. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. Leave me a comment down below what other kind of videos you want to see going up. Make sure that you guys drink your water, work hard, have an amazing day. Namaste.